Hey Book Munch fans! Today I'm going to tell you about the book Above, the sequel to Beneath, by Roland Smith. It's about two boys named Pat O'Toole and his brother Coop. Pat and Coop are on the run from an enemy who specializes in plain sight. Along the way, they make friends with a girl named Kate who has also narrowly escaped the cult-like community living under the streets of New York City. Kate lived underground since birth, and the world above her thrills her, but it's dangerous as well. Kate's grandfather is the cult leader and is planning a scheme which could affect the whole world. Kate, Pat, and Coop might be the only ones who can stop him. Will they face him head-to-head, or will they spend the rest of their lives on the run? I like this book because it has so much adventure, and these three kids never give up. Beneath and Above are a two-part series, so be sure to read Beneath first. If you like adventure and suspense, you can find Beneath and Above in Fiction SMI. See ya!
Hey there, Getty's Middle. I'm Cynthia, and today I'm going to tell you about Frazzled 3, Minor Incidents and Absolute Uncertainties. This book is about a girl named Abby Wu who thinks she's finally figured out middle school now that she's got 6th grade over with. But when her middle school takes its 7th grade class on a week-long camping trip, Abby is afraid of what might come next. She has no idea where she fits in. Her super cool older brother Peter is chaperoning, her cabin mates totally ignore her, and her best friends are off all doing their own thing. You can find Frazzled 3, Minor Incidents and Absolute Uncertainties in Fiction VIV.
Hey Book Bunch fans! Have you ever heard the saying, respect the legend, idolize the prodigy, celebrate the champion, but never underestimate the rebel? Rebel is the 4th book in the Legend series by Marie Lu. It's about a boy named Eden Wing and his brother Daniel. Eden has been living in his older brother Daniel's shadow for years, even though he is a top student in the academy in Ross City, Antarctica. A decade ago, Daniel was known as Day, the boy from the streets who led a revolution that saved the Republic of America. But Daniel is no longer the same young man who was once a national hero. These days, he'd rather hide out from the world and leave his past behind. All that matters to him now is keeping Eden safe, even if that means he has to give up June, the love of his life. As the two brothers struggle to accept who they've become since their time in the Republic, a new danger creeps into the distance that's grown between them. Eden soon finds himself drawn so far into Ross City's dark side, even his legendary brother can't save him. At least, not on his own. I love this book because it had a lot of adventure and suspense to it. If you like adventure too, and are ready to continue the Legend series, then this is a great choice. You can find Rebel in Fiction LU, but be sure to read books 1 through 3 before this one.
Hey Getty's Middle, have you ever heard of the plague? You might think it's something that it killed millions of people in Europe in the Middle Ages. So you might be surprised to learn that the plague has killed Americans, even in the 20th century. Chasing Secrets by Jennifer Chodinko is set in San Francisco in the year 1900. Lizzie Kennedy's uncle and her beloved father, who's a doctor, both deny that the plague has reached San Francisco. So why is the heart of the city under quarantine? Why are angry mobs trying to burn Chinatown to the ground? And why is Noah, the Chinese cook's 12-year-old son, suddenly making Lizzie question everything she's always known to be true? Lizzie and Noah must piece together in a heart-stopping race to save the people they love. If you're interested in Chasing Secrets, you can find it in Fiction CHO.
Hello, my fellow book nerds. I have an unputdownable book by Gordon Corman called The Unteachables. The Unteachables is about a notorious class of misfits, delinquents, and academic train wrecks, like Aldo with major anger issues, Parker, who can't read to save his life, Kiana, who doesn't even belong in this class, and Elaine. The Unteachables have been removed from regular students and isolated in room 117. Their teacher is Mr. Zachary Kerman, the most burned out teacher in all town. He was once a rising star, but his career was ruined by a cheating scandal that's still haunting him. After years of doing basically as little as possible as a teacher, he's finally 1 year away from early retirement. But the superintendent has his own plans to mess up Mr. Kermit's teaching career, and so he assigns him to the Unteachables to make him quit before his early retirement. This class never thought they'd find a teacher who had a worse attitude than they did, and Mr. Kermit never thought he would actually care about teaching again. I personally like this book because it was full of mayhem and destruction, but also heartwarming at the same time. Well, that's enough spoilers. If you want to learn more about the class of misfits, you can find the Unteachables in Fiction KOR.
Hey there, Geddies. It's Kimura here to tell you about an awesome new book called A Storm Too Soon. Do you like boat rides? Well, then this one won't be for you. On May 2nd, 2007, 3 veterinarian sailors set out on an epic voyage from Florida to France. But the trip of a lifetime soon turns into a nightmare when their 47-foot sailboat disappears along the Gulf Stream in the middle of a terrible storm. 3 exhausted sailors are left behind and struggle to survive on a life raft in violent waves 80 feet tall. Their only hope is a group of 4 brave members of the Coast Guard who brave the savage storm on a mission to save the stranded sailors. So if you like scary storms and a thrilling adventure, you can find A Storm Too Soon in Nonfiction 910.9 TOU.
Hello, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to show you the first 3 books in the 5 World series. We have the Sand Warrior, the Cobalt Prince, and the Red Maze. Join the adventure as the clumsiest student in Sand Dancer Academy, Ona Lee, along with a boy from the poorest slums and a star athlete, travel to 5 worlds, a galaxy of 5 planets populated by various species and races. Unless the 5 ancient beacons are lit, the world may be in danger, so the 3 friends decide they might be able to light the beacons and change the future. They'll have to save the worlds from extinction, deal with a battle for the galaxy, and solve puzzles to get great power. You can find the 5 Worlds books in Graphic Collection SIE.
Konnichiwa, Naruto fans. Listen up. Boruto, the series you've been waiting for, is here. The Legend of Naruto continues in Boruto Next Generations by Yukio Kadachi. As we all know, Naruto was a young shinobi with amazing talent for getting himself in and out of trouble. He achieved his dream to become the greatest ninja in the village, and his face sits on top of the Hokage monument. But this is not his story. A new generation of ninja is ready to take the stage, led by Naruto's own son, Boruto. Years have passed since Naruto defeated Kaguya, and times are now peaceful. Boruto would rather play video games than spend time training. However, one desire does burn deep in Boruto's heart. He wants to defeat his father. We have 2 copies of books 1 through 7 because that's all that has been published so far. So, if you would like to get a copy, you should put it on hold as soon as possible. You can find Boruto in the Graphic Collection KOD.
Hey Book Bunch watchers, it's Cynthia.
And Elizabeth, and we're here to tell you that there's a new book in the library called Escape from the Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz.
This book is the 4th from the Descendants series.
The Wicked Crew is back for a new adventure with all your favorite characters.
Mal tries to get everyone over the barrier, but Uma gets in the way of Mal's plan.
Uma finds her perfect partner for the job, and Mal doesn't know what awaits her.
Can she get everyone over the border, or was this her biggest mistake?
Find out when you read Escape from the Isle of the Lost in Fiction DE, but be sure to read books 1, 2, and 3 before this one.
Hey Book Bunch fans! Do you believe in time travel? Well, Zoe is a 15-year-old teenager who has the ability to see 23 minutes into the future to relive the events she wants to change. Although this is a cool ability, Zoe doesn't think so. She thinks it's more of a curse than a gift. Things never end well, and people tend to think she's crazy. When she steps into a bank to get out of the rain, she finds herself in the middle of a horrible tragedy. Zoe wants to help, but she knows that she only has a limited amount of tries to make things right. Plus, a single mistake could get her killed, and not even time travel can bring her back. Will Zoe survive? If you like mystery or suspense, then this is a perfect book for you. You can find 23 Minutes by Vivian Vandevelde in Fiction VAN.
Can you imagine in a world where you have to pay for every single word that you said? Hey everyone, I'm here to tell you about a new two-book series by Gregory Catalewis. All rights reserved and access denied. In a future where every word and gesture is copyrighted, patented, or trademarked, one girl decides to remain silent rather than pay to speak, and her defiant, unexpected silence threatens to unravel the very fabric of society. Speth Jime is anxious to deliver her last day speech and celebrate her transition into adulthood. The moment she turns 15, Speth must pay for every word she speaks. Sorry costs $10 and is a legal admission for guilt. Every nod is 99 cents per second. Every scream and even a hug or a kiss costs money. Speth has been raised to know the consequences of falling into debt and can't begin to imagine the pain of being physically punished for speaking words that she can't afford. But when one of her best friends commits suicide rather than work off his family's debt, she can't express her shock, dismay, and without breaking her last day contract and sending her family into legal collection. Backed into a corner, Speth decides rather than to read her speech, rather than say anything at all, she closes her mouth and vows to never speak again. Speth's unexpected defiance of transition sparks a media frenzy, inspiring others to follow her in her footsteps, and threatening to destroy her, her family, and the entire city. It is an amazing two-book series, and I absolutely loved it. And you can find All Rights Reserved and the sequel in Fiction KAT.